Delicious.
Tom Spellman, Dave Wilson Nursery. It's second week of August up here in the Central Valley, and we're out evaluating our new crop of berry plants coming on for this fall. We'll be shipping these in late October, November, early December. This is Sunshine Blue Blueberry. Look how nice that plant is. That's just absolutely a beautiful finished product. But we're gonna pinch these one more time. We're gonna cut them down about 6 inches or so and put one more nice flush of growth on them. All that growth that they finish off with this fall, that's gonna be production wood for this next season. That's what's gonna bloom in February and March and April and produce berries in May, June, and July. So blueberries are kind of an anomaly in the fruit world. If you prune blueberries in the wintertime, every cut you make, you're pruning out fruiting wood. So you want to do all of your pruning on blueberries in the summer after the end of the crop season. So when the plants are done fruiting in July or early August, that's when you want to do your shaping. Let that next flush of growth come out, and that's what's going to be production wood for the next year. So no winter pruning on blueberries. So this is another one of our unique blueberry varieties. We're growing about a dozen or so different varieties in our Farmers Market Favorite program, all in this 4x9 inch liner pot. So these are 1-year plants. They're ready to be lined out. They're going to be productive their first year in a container. This is a variety called Pink Lemonade. So as opposed to a blue blueberry, this is a pink blueberry. It's a little more acidic, it's a little more tangy in flavor, and they mix this a lot with other blue flesh varieties to be used in desserts. The dessert chefs love this variety. This on top of a cheesecake with a couple of blueberries will make about a $20 dessert.
Last year we introduced the bushel and berry line into our farm market favorites. And it just happened to coincide with the COVID pandemic. And one thing that we found out, it was really eye-opening, so many young people now are getting into gardening, but it's a little overwhelmed. What we think is the best entry-level fruit to get into, especially if you have a small patio, is getting into blueberries or getting into small bush plants and trialing them there. And from there, go ahead and expanding. So blueberries, perfect. You can plant 3 in a wine barrel. You can plant 1 in a nice decorative container, and it's an easy way for someone new to gardening to really experience and be successful with with edibles. What the bushel and berry adds into this mix is, for example, this right here is the baby cakes blackberry. When everyone thinks blackberries along the roadside, they're thinking, the sprawling vines and the thorns. This is a thornless bush blackberry that's made for containers. It's going to get covered with fruit, really easy to maintain. It doesn't get big. You just keep it trimmed in a nice little bush. Its counterpart is known as raspberry shortcake. It is a raspberry that's a bush raspberry as opposed to the cane, perfect for container gardening, and you'll get nice good fruit off of it. So, if you're not really sure about, dedicating a lot of room, start with the bushel and berry line and go ahead and put them in pots. So speaking of pots, right? What do you think about soil, especially blueberries? Everyone's a little freaked out on what to do, but we have a simple recipe.
There's 2 things that are essential to proper blueberry care. Number 1, fast drainage.
Okay.
You don't want any water to sit in that pot. You want it all to drain out. And an acidic soil condition.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that you don't have a high pH. You don't want a pH any more than about 6.5 max.
Okay.
So if you used a mixture of, say, a good sandy potting soil, about 1/3 peat moss, a coarse grind peat moss,
okay,
and about 1/3 pathway or walk-on bark, and mix those all 3 together, that's going to give you the perfect mix for blueberries or for most container plants in general.
So
these little bushel and berry varieties would do great in that same mix.
And it sounds a little daunting, but the way I do it at home, I get a wheelbarrow, get a bag of nice organic potting soil, set that there, bag of peat moss, and a bag of pathway bark, or even orchid bark, coarser orchid bark. You get this container, Scoop one, scoop the other, scoop, mix it up, you're ready to go.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
so.
it really is. It's not complicated at all, and it makes the perfect mix. There are almost equivalent mixes that you can buy pre-mixed or pre-bagged, but I really like being able to mix those three elements together and come up with that finished product.
Right. So what we're saying is, if you're new to gardening, a little intimidated, don't be. Great starter plants, blueberries. If you want to expand and maybe get a blackberry in your patio or a raspberry in your patio, look into the bushel and berry line of plants. What's nice about ours is ours in little 4-inch containers, right? So they're inexpensive at your garden center. Put it in a nice pickle jar, decorative pot, use the planting mix, and you're gonna have fruit throughout the summer. So, hopefully this kind of helps people who are a little intimidated understand it's simple. It's gardening really is simple.
and so rewarding. I mean, we were picking blueberries this year beginning about maybe March 15th, and we picked all the way up until last week, first week in August.
Yep. So just go to our harvest chart, pick a early, mid, late season blueberry, and you're set.
And even though all those blueberry varieties are listed as being self-fruitful, by planting 3 individual varieties together
Just helps with
in
the
one clump,
production.
you get so much more production.
Yeah.
Probably 10 times the amount of production,
Right.
by having those cross-pollinators built in.
Yep. So, any other questions? Just go on to davewilson.com and just look at the varieties and make the choice. Go down to your independent garden center this fall and pick them out.
And we're here for you. We want your gardening experience to be successful. We want you to eat plenty of fresh fruit, and that's why we're providing these high-quality plants and all this information on our website.